All right, so this is the online help video for page 55, which is titled Hundreds, Tens, and Ones Problems. Um, and this was a little bit trickier. This goes over some of the stuff we were working on today in class, and particularly in class, we spent a lot of time adding and subtracting money. Our goal today was to get more comfortable with adding and subtracting money. We might not be um, perfect at it yet, and that's okay. We're just trying to do our best right now. We're just getting the hang of it because we're really used to so far in kindergarten, first grade, and second grade writing numbers just normally. So if you had the number 52, we would write a 5 and a 2. Here you've got the dollar sign, you've got the dot, which is also called a decimal point. You have all those things that are kind of in there also, and it makes the numbers look a little bit different than we're used to seeing them. But the more we practice with them, we'll find out that they're really kind of the same as hundreds, tens, and ones, like we've been practicing for the past couple grades. So let's look at problem number 1 and solve through that. When I look at problem 1, I do notice right away there's an A and a B. They're both in dark black letters, an A and a B. And every time I see a part B, I know right away that when I solve part A, I'm probably going to have to use that answer or something from the problem to help me solve part B. So anytime you have an A and a B, just know that you're going to use something from part A to help you solve part B. Just something to keep in mind. So let's start with problem 1A. It says, oops, Jake is playing collect $2, but he keeps forgetting to trade his coins. He has 14 dimes and 37 pennies. How much money does he have? So collect $2 was a game we played in class where students would roll two dice, two dice, and we would, based on what they rolled, that would decide how much money they could collect. And your goal is to collect $2. And as you were collecting your money, sometimes you'd be taking pennies. And what we noticed is sometimes you might wind up with like 15 pennies, which at that point you would trade your coins for easier coins to work with, like a dime and a nickel, because 10 plus 5 equals 15 still. So that's what happened here. Jake he's got a lot of coins and he forgot to trade them. So we're going to help figure out how much money he has in all. It says 14 dimes. Let me write this down here. Jake has 14 dimes and how many pennies? 37 pennies. And what we're going to do here is we're going to decide how much money is all this. If we actually wrote it in dollars with our dollar sign or cent sign. So 14 dimes. One thing you might notice right away when you look at this is that 14 dimes is bigger than 10 dimes. And let's see. We know that every dime is worth 10. So this would be 10 cents, 20, 30. So far I've got 3 dimes, 4 dimes, 5 dimes, 6 dimes, 7 dimes, 8 dimes, 9 dimes, and 10 dimes. I know it says he has 14 dimes, but I drew 10, and I know right away that that's 100 cents. Because we know from second grade that 10 tens, or in this case 10 dimes, which is really the same thing, is $1. And you can count them: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 cents, or $1. So far I've made 10 dimes total, but it says I'm supposed to have 14 dimes. So I need 11, 12, 13, 14. So I can see that these 10 dimes here make $1, like we talked about. And I can also see that I've got these 4 tens left over, which if I count them, it's 10, 20, 30, 40. So I've got 40 cents there. And the way I write that, if you guys remember from class today, is our dollar sign, and then we have $0. And we kind of think of our dot as the word and. So $0 and 40 cents. So far I've got $1 here, and I've got 40 cents. And if we add that all together, you can actually do our adding by place strategy here. And here's why. Because first we can add by our dollar place, which is kind of like our hundreds place, like we talked about in class today. $1 plus $0 is still $1. And then 0 tens plus 4 tens still gives you 4 tens. And then 0 plus 0, or ones place, is still 0. So altogether right now you've got $1.40. And I need my dollar sign in front of here too. So $1.40. But that's not our answer, because we want to find out how much Jake has in all. And it says he has 14 dimes and 37 pennies. We can't forget about the 37 pennies. So here's his $1.40, which was all the amount of money when you add up all his dimes. But we got to remember the 37 pennies too. So I'm going to bring this down because I know I'm going to have to add this again. I'm at $1.40. And we know that 37 pennies is really just 37 cents. So we could write that as $0 and 37 cents. Looking at this problem, here's all we got to do now is take the dimes, which was $1.40. 14 dimes was $1.40. Notice the 1 4 and the 1 4 and the dimes. $1.40 and add our 37 pennies, and altogether that's how much money Jake has. So again, let's do adding by place. We see that if we add our dollars first, $1 plus $0 equals $1. Let me draw my dollar sign this time. Equals $1. And now we got to add our cents. So let me go to my tens spot in my cents. We've got 4 tens and 3 tens. I make 7 tens. And then we have, let me do our ones in green just so it's a little bit easier to see the differences. 0 ones plus 7 ones is 7. So altogether, Jake has $1.77. $1.77. That's your answer for part A. Now, we need to find out when we go to part B, it says how much more money does Jake need to get to $2? Well, we learned in part A that he has $1.77 right now. So let me erase all this and we'll keep the $1.77 that Jake has, because we got to figure out how can he get up to $2? How many more cents do we have to add? So let's see here. So we know that altogether Jake has $1.77, and he's trying to add some amount to get up to $2. That amount we don't know, so I'm just going to put a question mark here. Let's see if it lets me. Okay, so yeah, Jake has $1.77, and we have to add some amount, and we know that altogether he's trying to equal. Altogether he's trying to equal $2. He's trying to have $2. So you can do this a couple ways. First way I would recommend is a number line. For a number line, you could start with $1.77, or as we talked about, we also can think of this as 177 cents, whatever way works best for you. I would get in the habit of using the dollar sign and the dot like we talked about. That's going to be how you're going to see money when you go to a grocery store, if you're going to GameStop to buy a video game, anything like that, you'll always see money written that way. So we're at $1.77, and we're going to try to jump up to $2. I can already see I have $1. And I've also got 77 cents to the side. 77 cents is really like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. There's 77 cents. And I'm trying to make, if I can make one more dollar using these 77 cents, that would give me a new dollar that could be added to my $1 I already have for a total of $2. So my question is, if I'm at 77 cents here, how can I bump that up to $1? And if you add 20 cents, that'll bump you up to $1.97. And then 3 more cents would make $2. I'm kind of rushing here because I'm almost out of video. And you can